Well, Yvonne, we know that they're quite widespread, probably the most widespread strikes we've seen from Israel against Hezbollah since last October. In the last 11 months, Israel has been hitting a number of villages and sites, including in the Bekaa Valley, which is in central Lebanon, not in the south, and in Beirut, as you just saw. But these strikes seem to be some of the most powerful. They seem to be destroying targets right across that southern border belt and even further north and in the Bekaa Valley as well. Israel says it's attacking, these are really what they call capability denying strikes, where Israel is trying to take out the larger missiles and munitions that Hezbollah has to date not used in its conflict with Israel. These are the things that Israel is more worried about than the unguided rockets that Hezbollah has been launching into northern Israel for the past 11 months. So Israel says it got advance warning that Hezbollah was preparing to launch a cruise missile, and it blew up the house where that cruise missile was located. So it looks like Israel has decided, previously it hasn't been willing to go to this step because it thought it was escalatory, but it's now decided it's going to start targeting all of those sites. Many of them are in villages with, that they're placed amongst civilian homes. They're in normal looking buildings. There might be a missile launcher on the back of a truck parked underneath the building, or there might be some other type of launcher, or the missiles themselves might be stored in these buildings. And those are the targets that Israel is going after. These villages have been depopulated to some extent. More than 100,000 Lebanese had already fled the Israeli strikes in southern Lebanon, but there's still a large number of people there, and those are the ones who are most likely the target of the Israeli warnings this morning.
Well, Eric, can you tell us a bit more about the warnings that residents received prior to the start of these strikes?
They got a number of phone calls. Lebanon's telephone provider said there were 80,000 phone calls made from the Israelis to Lebanese this morning. There were pre-recorded messages that were sent out to Lebanese phones warning people to evacuate. There were text messages and there were broadcasts put out on social media and through other, of those type of channels in Arabic warning people to leave. However, the strikes, at the timing when we were told about the warnings, we were seeing videos already of some strikes in some areas. So it looks like the strikes began very early in the morning. People got the warnings throughout the morning, and then those strikes intensified. We were told there was 150 strikes initially. Now that number has doubled, and the wounded and the death toll starting to rise as well. As you mentioned, 50 dead, 300 wounded confirmed to date. This is really the most intense fighting that we've seen, and it looks like Israel is looking at the options that it has. It hasn't been able to dissuade Hezbollah from firing rockets and missiles and drones with military means to date, so it's going even harder than it has before.
And Eric, tell us how this escalation would raise the risks of this becoming a broader war. Will Iran get involved to protect its proxy group, Hezbollah?
That's the interesting question, the key question. Iran regards Hezbollah as part of its forward defence strategy, something of an insurance policy to be used to deter a direct strike on Iranian soil. And the main element of that is Hezbollah's guided and long-range missile capability. And if Israel is going after that and destroying it, Iran will view that as a threat. It doesn't want to lose that part of its forward defence. It doesn't want to lose the deterrence that Hezbollah provides against Israel. But to date, Iran's been unable to do very much and hasn't got involved directly, including even after Israel struck the Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh while he was staying in the Iranian capital. So Iran hasn't proven to be very willing to strike it back at Israel or to involve itself more closely in this conflict. Hezbollah has largely been left to fight it alone. The question is to what extent is Israel willing to allow Hezbollah to take this kind of damage, to have its capabilities degraded in such a way before it regards it as a major risk.
Eric, thank you for that update. Eric Tlozek reporting there.